She disappeared into the ocean in the 1970s, tagged, studied, and released into a world that would change beyond recognition. For 50 years, she was a ghost in the currents. Until one night, against all odds, she returned to the same beach where her life began. This is the story of Nya the turtle who came home half a century later. Sea turtles are the wanderers of the deep. They cross oceans, survive storms, and vanish into waters so vast that many are never seen again. But one thing has always puzzled scientists. No matter how far they travel, when it is time to lay eggs, they return to the very beach where they were born. This documentary follows Nya, a turtle tagged by researchers in the 1970s, lost for decades, and rediscovered 5 decades later. Her journey is one of survival, memory, and homecoming. A journey that reveals not only the secrets of the sea, but lessons for us all. She was one of hundreds, a hatchling the size of a human palm, scrambling across sand alive with danger. Birds circled, crabs lurked. Only 1 in 1,000 would survive to adulthood. That night in the 1970s, Nya fought her way to the surf, pulled by instincts older than time itself. Researchers working on the beach tagged her. A tiny metal mark on her flipper, a number in their records. Then, like all the others, she vanished into the surf. For most turtles, the story ends there. But for Nya, this was only the beginning. Scientists discovered that hatchlings memorize their birthplace using the Earth's magnetic field like a natural GPS imprinted into their brains. This imprint guides them for decades across thousands of miles until they return to the same stretch of sand. Nya carried that map with her into the deep. For 50 years, Nya roamed. She crossed the Atlantic, dove into abyssal depths, and surfaced in coral reefs alive with color. She outswam predators, survived nets, endured storms that shattered ships. Every migration tested her, but always in her mind, the map of home remained. But while Nya grew, the world changed. Oceans filled with plastic bags mistaken for jellyfish, lines that strangled, nets that trapped. Entire generations of turtles never returned. For every survivor like Nya, countless others were lost not to nature, but to us. Sea turtles can live up to 80 years. Their survival depends on unique biology, salt glands that filter seawater, lungs that hold breath for hours, and senses tuned to faint magnetic cues. But no adaptation prepares them for plastic. Studies show over 50% of sea turtles today carry plastic in their stomachs. And then, it happened. One moonlit night, rangers on patrol spotted a shadow rising from the surf. An enormous turtle, scarred, barnacled, heavy with age. She crawled slowly, each step deliberate, until she reached the dunes. When they saw the tag on her flipper, their jaws dropped. It was Nya last recorded in the 1970s. She had come home. She worked for hours, digging, laying, covering. Every movement slow, ancient, deliberate. Over 100 eggs buried in silence. For rangers, it was like watching time itself return. For Nya, it was memory fulfilled the map imprinted in her brain, finally leading her home. But there was a shadow. The beach she returned to was not the same. Plastic littered the shore. Lights from hotels burned to bright, disorienting hatchlings. Her home was there but changed. The question was no longer whether Nya could return. It was whether her children could survive. Nya's journey confirmed what scientists long suspected. Turtles can navigate entire oceans, returning to the very beach of their birth decades later. They follow magnetic fields, currents, and chemical cues in ways we are only beginning to understand. Her return was not luck. It was nature's blueprint, etched in her mind since the moment she hatched. Rangers protected Nia's nest, shielding it from predators and human disruption. For them, her return was more than science. It was hope. Proof that despite decades of change, life endures. Her story became there's an unbroken bond between humanity and the wild. And weeks later, under another moon, her hatchlings emerged. Tiny, fragile, determined. They scrambled toward the surf, each one carrying Nia's map within. Most would not survive, but a few would. And perhaps 50 years from now, another turtle will return, carrying her legacy. Nia's story is not only about survival, it is about memory, resilience, and the meaning of home. She crossed oceans, outlived threats, endured decades of silence, and still, she came back, because for sea turtles, no matter how far life takes you, home is where the story begins. But as hatchlings scatter into the surf, the question remains, will they have a home to return to? Or will plastic, lights, and nets silence their maps forever? The answer depends not on them, but on us. If Nia's journey touched you, share it. Let her story remind the world that home is worth protecting. Subscribe to Triller Pictures for more stories of survival, memory, and the bonds that tie us to the wild.